Welcome to the world in darkness. Tonight, we journey deep into the remote, windswept highlands of the Andes, where the air is thin and ancient fears still linger in the shadows. Imagine you are walking alone on a deserted mountain pass, the icy wind biting at your skin. Suddenly, you sense a presence, not an animal, but something chillingly human, yet not quite. This is the realm of one of South America's most terrifying legends, the Pishtaku, or what is the Pishtaco. In the Quechua language, the name means to cut or to butcher. He is a humanoid predator, a monster in the guise of a man who haunts the lonely roads of Peru, Bolivia, and Ecuador. His purpose is horrifyingly specific. He stalks travelers not to rob them of their money, but of their very life force, their blood, and most importantly, their human fat. To understand the Pishtaco, we must travel back in time. The roots of this legend are buried deep in the pre-Columbian worldview. For ancient Andean cultures, human fat, known as huira, was considered the sacred essence of life, a source of energy, health, and spiritual power. It was a vital substance, and the idea of it being stolen was the ultimate violation. Then, the Spanish conquistadors arrived. Their presence brought unimaginable trauma. The indigenous people witnessed strange and terrifying practices they had never seen before. The Spanish performed autopsies, dissected bodies, and rendered animal fat for various uses. To the Andean mind, these acts were grotesque and sacrilegious. Rumors began to spread, fueled by fear and mistrust. The foreigners, it was whispered, were not just seeking gold. They were hunting people to steal their precious huira. They believed the Spanish used human fat to lubricate their strange new machines, to create magical ointments, or even to ship back to Europe as a gruesome commodity. From this clash of cultures, the modern legend of the Pishtaco was born. He became the embodiment of the foreign invader, the pale-skinned stranger who drains the life from the local people to fuel his own world. He was the ultimate exploiter, a boogeyman forged from colonial oppression and historical trauma. Over the centuries, the legend adapted and evolved, feeding on every new social anxiety. When miners disappeared in the treacherous mountain tunnels, the Pishtaco was blamed. When travelers were found dead under mysterious circumstances, his name was whispered. The figure of the Pishtaco became a powerful social symbol, representing abusive landowners, corrupt officials, and any outsider who came to exploit the poor and vulnerable. He wasn't just a monster, he was the face of injustice. Even in the 20th and 21st centuries, the fear is far from gone. In rural areas, the legend has taken on a modern twist. People speak of Pishtacos driving white vans, abducting unsuspecting victims from the roadside. They are said to work for clandestine organizations, part of a horrifying black market for human fat and organs. Some tales even describe Pishtacos armed with advanced technology, using special needles and machines to extract blood and fat in a matter of seconds, leaving their victims weakened and slowly dying. The fear is so real that there have been actual police cases where rumors of Pishtaco activity caused mass panic and vigilante justice. So, what does this creature look like? How would you recognize him in the fading light of an Andean dusk? Descriptions vary from region to region, but there are chilling commonalities. He is often described as a tall, slender man, but possessing a strength that is utterly inhuman. His most consistent feature is his pale, white skin, a direct link to the foreign origins of the myth. He has a sharp, bony face, sometimes with light or blonde hair, and other times with straight black hair. But it's the terrifying details that will freeze your blood. His eyes are said to be unnaturally bright, glowing like hot coals in the darkness, allowing him to see his prey from afar. He might have unnaturally sharp teeth, sometimes described as being made of metal. And his smile, it's a twisted, macabre grin that promises a horrific end. Those who have gotten close and survived claim he carries a foul stench, the nauseating odor of rancid grease and old blood. His attire also changes with the times. In colonial tales, he wore a large hat, leather boots, and a dark poncho to conceal his massive knife or machete. The modern Pishtaco might wear a heavy jacket, work boots, and an Andean cap, carrying his surgical tools in a backpack. But one thing is constant. He is always armed with a long, sharp blade, perfectly suited for his gruesome work. The Pishtaco is a master of stealth. He moves with absolute silence, stalking his victims on lonely paths, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. He attacks at night, especially when the cold is at its most extreme, using the weather to his advantage. He has powers beyond those of a normal man, legends say. He can hypnotize or paralyze his victims with a single glance, leaving them helpless. He has a supernatural sense of smell, able to sniff out human fat from a distance. Some stories, particularly from Bolivia, even grant him the ability to shapeshift or disappear into thin air. Once he has his victim, he is brutally efficient. He cuts them open to extract their fat, blood, or sometimes their organs. But he doesn't always kill. In some versions of the tale, he drains just enough fat to leave the person alive but chronically ill, weak, and fated to a slow, wasting death. This is perhaps the most insidious part of the legend idea that you could be attacked, and not even realize what happened until your life force begins to inexplicably seep away. The Pishtaco is more than just a monster from a scary story. He is a living symbol of centuries of fear and oppression. He represents the terror of the outsider, the exploitation of the poor by the powerful, and the deep-seated anxiety of losing one's identity, one's body, and one's very essence. The legend of the Pishtaco is a dark mirror reflecting the historical wounds of the Andean people, a chilling reminder that the mountains hold stories of profound pain and enduring resilience. So, if you ever find yourself on a high-altitude road as night begins to fall, and you see a tall, pale figure walking in the distance, remember this story. Listen for silent footsteps behind you, and beware the man who smells of blood and grease. You might just be in the hunting grounds of the Pishtaco. Thanks for joining us in the world in darkness. If you were captivated by this journey into fear, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next descent into the unknown. Stay safe and watch the shadows.